Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. So you can see today I'm hopping along with the Card Hoppin group, a year of fun themes and techniques. So this month the theme is sketches, and these are the two that I broke it down to. And then the challenge or the techniques are clean and simple or grunge. Well, grunge is totally my aesthetic, but I'm also coming to like clean and simple, so I wanted to see if I could merge them. So this is kind of my prototype of the first sketch that I showed you, and I decided that I liked it, so I wanted to make another one on camera for you guys. So I start out by using some more of that yellow cardstock that I've sprayed down with flickering candlelight distress mica spray, and I'm creating some punched out stars, and I'm cutting out my sentiment. The sentiment is "You Are Enough." It's from Simon Says Stamp. And I don't know if you remember from the first card, you can see it down there in the right corner. I also have some larger stars, and those are cut out of the Primitive Shaker Shapes die set from Whimsy. Everything will be listed and linked downstairs in the description box for your convenience. You are invited to use those links if you're gonna do any shopping. Any of those links will take you straight to either that item or to that particular store. Back to my card, you can see that the bulk of this card is very much like the prototype. There are a couple differences. This one it's 5x7, whereas the original blue and yellow one is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And this time I'm using the same notched stitched dies to make my panel. They're the mini slimline notched and stitched. But this one I'm making into a shaker card, as you can see. So a couple things about a shaker. You want to make sure that you use nice, strong adhesive to hold that acetate window down, because you don't want that coming up. And you want something that's going to be able to dry, because acetate kind of traps in moisture. So I recommend a dry adhesive. But also when you're creating your shaker well, you want to make sure that those double-sided foam tape pieces or whatever you're using to create your well, you want to make sure that those ends touch. You don't want to leave any gaps in that process, because all your beautiful shaker bits are going to come flying out. So keep those things in mind as you're making your shaker wells. So here I am using a panel of watercolor card. I can't remember the brand. I want to say it might be Canson XL. This works a little bit better for all of this kind of grungy mixed media stuff that I'm using on there. Lots of wet product, as you can see, using my distress mica stains, and I'm loving these. Like these three that I'm using initially are from, I think all three of them are from the Halloween release last year. Nope, the pink is Winterberry, and that was from the Christmas release. Side note, I'm excited to see if Tim Holtz and Ranger bring out any more of these colors again this year, or if they re-release these for the holiday season. Eager to see that, because I would love to get some more. But back to the card. I know I keep going on little tangents. I'm sorry. Just creating more layers, trying to bring in all of my colors. And, you know, the purple is very strong, and it's kind of eating up this, the Winterberry, the pinky red. And so that's why I'm dropping on just some drops instead of spraying, just to kind of give things depth and dimension. You want to make sure that when you're using any kind of media like this, whether it's actual mixed media, whether it's sprays, stains, inks, whatever, if it's wet and you want things to layer, you have to dry in between each layer. Otherwise, they will blend instead of layer. One of the things that Tim Holtz always says, and it sticks in my brain, is wet on wet blends, wet on dry layers. So that's what I keep in mind when I'm working with especially wet media. So I have my panel up there on the right. I brought in the flickering candlestick, that's the yellow, because there's a lot of yellow in this shaker mix. And I also have the yellow stars and the yellow sentiment. So I wanted there to be some yellow on my background to marry all those pieces together. So here I have my shaker window done. I have my panel done. I'm loving it. But then when I put my shaker bits in the window, there's like a deep reddy orange color in there that doesn't quite go with the Winterberry pink. There's also a pink, and that pink coordinates with the Winterberry that I have on my panel. But as I'm making my shaker and getting my sentiment on there and everything, I just realized that I wanted a little bit more of that orangey red. So in comes Crackling Campfire. Now I don't have this Distress Spray stain, but I do have the oxide, and I'm just using that spray nozzle to flick on some splatter. I'm not going to make another layer, you know, in terms of spray. I just want that splatter on there. So while you see me kind of assemble my card, let me tell you a little bit more about the Card Hoppin group as well as this particular hop. Card Hoppin group was actually birthed out of Handmade Happiness. Jen Holder Schoolcraft is our fearless leader. Her handle on YouTube is Jen Lee, so you'll definitely find her listed and linked downstairs, so you can follow her in our lineup and find some great inspiration from her this month. But she has great inspiration every month and throughout every month. She's on, I don't even know how many design teams right now, like she's in high demand, but she is, again, wonderful, fantastic, creative, fearless, and she leads us every single month. So she literally does a full year. She creates a theme as well as different techniques that we can choose from. This month, as I said earlier, is sketches. That's the theme. And the techniques that we could choose from were grunge or clean and simple. So she is amazing, and I can't wait for you to hop along. Now I will have the group listed downstairs, so if you'd like to, you know, join us over on Facebook, we'd love to have you become part of the group and participate in these monthly hops. In terms of the hop, there are links downstairs to all the participants that are playing along this month, and the whole lineup is down there. You can link right to their specific channels. The next person will be at the very top of the list. And if you get lost along the way, if maybe a link doesn't work, because it's real life and sometimes technology, you know, isn't our friend, but you can always come right back here and get the whole list and get to the next person. So that's the group, that's the hop, and let me get back to my card making. So this is sketch number 2. I showed a picture of sketch number 1 on the screen just so you can recall what my brief was essentially for that particular card. And then as I started this one, there was another reminder of what the sketch was for this one. So I've shown you all of my products. I'm showing you my process in terms of the die cutting, because all of that was done off screen. For this one, really, it's just about assembly and placement. So I know that the expanse of the card panel is going to be one color. So for me, that one color is white, and I knew that I wanted some texture, some pattern, some depth and dimension. All of those things are answered with this one arabesque or quatrefoil, whatever you want to call it, this one panel. Now this die is from Honeybee. It is called quatrefoil, and I'm in love with this. Like, this is one of my favorite shapes of all time. And I don't know if you noticed, but here I'm putting it, of course you're noticing this part, I'm putting back in some of the little die cut pieces that fell out. But here is where I was talking about, I don't know if you noticed or not, I don't have them all, but I like that look. Again, that adds more interest, and that whole depth, texture, all of that, it's just added more to it because it's kind of a surprise element that not all the pieces are there, and I think that's really cool. So these particular little strips, they are cut with the Quick Strips die from Whimsy Stamps. Everything will be listed and linked downstairs. I invite you to hop along and, you know, go shopping if you're interested. But I used old gel plate prints these are actually just scraps to create these strips. And this, of course, is more texture, dimension, you know, all those things. And then, of course, this Love You sentiment is from Catherine Pooler, and it was cut out of the same cardstock, the same gel plate print as the middle strip on this card. So I had so much fun. Of course, this is the grungy element for me, but it's done in a very clean and simple way. So not mad about either of these cards. So that's the finished card. Came together really easily. And that is the sketch. So y'all let me know, did I meet the brief? Did I follow these sketches well, or was I inspired by them to a way that you can understand what it was birthed from? So again, this is the first one. You saw the second one. This is essentially my prototype, the yellow and the blue, and I was happy with it, to my surprise, which led me to the construction, if you will, of this one. And of course I was talking about some of the changes, and then this was the second one, or the second sketch. You guys tell me if I met the brief or not. Let me know your thoughts downstairs. Of course, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. And again, the next hopper will be listed at the top of my description box downstairs, as well as the entire lineup. And I thank you guys for joining me today. This is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. And until next time, mwah, I'm out.